is Derek Suttles. I'm a deputy with the Morgan County Sheriff's Office, and I've been with the Sheriff's Office since 2010. I'm going into my 16th year with the Sheriff's Office.
Deputy Suttles, can you describe a typical day for you with the Morgan County Sheriff's Office?
So typically I always come on at 6 a.m. Morgan County is approximately 600 square miles. The majority of my days I work alone. There's another officer that works kind of like a shift in between myself and the other day shift guy. So he works half of his days with him and half of his days with me. But when I come on at 6 a.m., we never know what to expect. I'm not assigned to just any kind of group or interdiction group. I handle domestics and batteries and thefts throughout the day. Luckily, Morgan County is a pretty safe county for the most part, and there's not a lot of calls for service. So I have the luxury to be able to go out to Interstate 72. Some days I spend 10 to 12 hours out there, and there's other days I may get a call where I end up getting taken off the interstate and I'm not out there the whole day. But with the low call count for the county, a lot of my days are spent on I-72.
Can you give us an idea of where Interstate 72 is in proximity to Morgan County?
Oh, it comes through our county. Interstate 72 does. It is a east-west route. You can get on it in Northern California as US 36. It'll take you through Denver, Colorado, straight through 36 comes straight through Hannibal, Missouri, and it hits Illinois. I-72 on the north side of Hannibal, and then I-72 in Morgan County starts at the 57, 58 mile marker, and it stretches all the way up to like the 78 mile marker. So we've got approximately a 20 mile stretch that drives straight through our county. But Interstate 72 will take you all the way. You can take it all the way straight through. It'll change routes, obviously, but you can stay on Interstate 72 and get all the way to Indianapolis, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, some of the bigger cities that we see narcotics coming from the west, traveling to the east.
Would you agree that Interstate 72 has become a popular route for drug trafficking?
I think it's become more popular because it's gotten more attention from law enforcement. I think it's likely always been traveled by criminal organizations and people smuggling narcotics from the west to the east. I just think that law enforcement has kind of paid more attention to it in the last 15 years. Therefore, if you spend more time there, you're going to see more results. And then obviously with some of the stuff we've been able to do here in Morgan County, pretty sizable seizures, word travels fast, and other people, west and east of us are starting to send guys out there to sit to try to interdict these criminals as they pass through our areas.
As part of your duties with the Morgan County Sheriff's Office, are you officially assigned to interdiction?
No, it's not my official title in any way. It's something I enjoy to do. I'm just a deputy who enjoys working criminal interdiction.
For someone who might not know or understand what interdiction is, Deputy Suttles, can you explain what criminal interdiction encompasses?
So criminal interdiction, which I focus on the majority of when I'm out on Interstate 72, is trying to interdict individuals that are involved in crimes. That crime doesn't necessarily have to be just drugs. It could be child abduction, child trafficking, human trafficking, drug trafficking, money trafficking. I personally haven't been involved with it, but guys that work out there with me have stopped guys who have committed a murder in another state, and now they're trying to get from one state to another. Criminal interdiction, anything all the way down to something as simple as a warrant from another county or a warrant from our county or a driving suspended. Criminal interdiction entails all things crime related, and those folks act similar. I mean, a guy who's driving with a suspended license is going to act somewhat nervous when he passes by you, just like a guy who's hauling 100 kilos of cocaine. They're going to act in a similar manner. Obviously, the one's probably going to be more extreme, but everyone who's involved in some sort of crime, from speeding all the way up to a murderer, is going to act in a certain type of way.
On January 9th, 2025, at approximately 9:30 a.m., Deputy Derek Suttles was following up on information he had received in regard to a tractor-trailer possibly traveling westbound on Interstate 72. He had received information over the past several months in reference to a criminal organization from the West Coast, allegedly distributing illegal narcotics and transporting the currency, which was the proceeds of the illegal narcotics sales, throughout the United States, specifically on the East Coast via tractor-trailer. Deputy, take us back to this January 9th incident and walk us through how it played out that day.
We'd had some information that it may be out there moving around the specific group. So I was set in my normal spot on I-72. It went by, a specific truck did. I pulled out on it and began to follow it. I didn't find a reason to pull it over until Scott County. It didn't commit any vehicle infractions until Scott County, which is just a short, just we crossed to the west from Morgan into Scott. I've got some good friends in Scott, including the sheriff, Tom Ettinger. I was able to contact him. I observed some violations. I think he was nervous. He was watching me in the mirror. He was kind of going over the white fog line back and forth. Tommy came out, kind of caught up to us as we passed through Scott. Tommy was able to pull in front of me. He initiated a traffic stop on the truck trailer. So I kind of took over at that point, talking to the folks, asking them some questions that I commonly ask. It seemed like there was some deception maybe going on. They consented to a search of the truck. Inside the truck, I found some magnetic stickers for the doors with other DOT numbers and other trucking company names on them, which immediately threw up a red flag. They sometimes do that to avoid detection by law enforcement. They'll switch, just get information about, J&J Trucking, and then a couple months later now they're J&T Trucking. So, kind of they change things up a little bit to stay off the radar of law enforcement. They really didn't have a good reason why they had these extra DOT numbers and company name in the truck. I detected an odor of weed when I was in cannabis, when I was inside the cab, which is not common for truck drivers. Truck drivers drive trucks to make money for their family. They don't want to roll the dice. Normal truckers don't roll the dice on doing drugs while they're trucking because they don't want to lose that. That's their breadwinning card. I mean, that's how they bring food home to their family. Did not find any cannabis in the truck. It's my belief that there probably was at some point, and that's why there was money coming back west. They consented to a further search of the truck, which included the load of blueberries in the trailer. So we were able to get into the trailer, climb the first couple pallets in the trailer, which were legit blueberries, and just behind the second pallet on the right side of the trailer were two grocery style, like Aldi style nylon bags. And inside those bags was a very large amount of United States currency. We interviewed the folks on the scene, the two Asian males that were driving the truck, and they denied any knowledge of the cash. They had no idea where it came from.
What happens next when they deny knowing about the cash?
They signed a waiver disclaiming the cash, and then we began the forfeiture process through the court system and was later awarded the $431,000 cash through the forfeiture process due to us believing that it was involved in some sort of criminal activity, specifically narcotics.
The suspects were taken into custody to initiate the investigation. Trained drug dogs were brought in to do a blind sniff test on the money in order to conclude that drugs were involved with the forfeited cash.
In this case, as far as a money seizure where we believe it's involved in some sort of narcotic crime, drug crime, we will have the dog run a blind sniff on several packages that all look the same. Obviously, one would contain the currency, and then the dog alerts to the currency. It's probable that money was affiliated with some sort of drug at some point. Doesn't alert, makes it a little tougher.
On August 20th, at approximately 11 a.m., Deputy Suttles was observing traffic from the turnaround on Interstate 72 just west of exit 64. While on patrol, he observed a vehicle with numerous indicators that, based on his training and experience, led him to suspect that the vehicle was involved with drug trafficking. He followed the vehicle to a Love's truck stop where he observed suspicious behavior by the driver. Suttles conducted a consensual encounter with the driver. The driver gave deputy consent to search his vehicle that led to the discovery and seizure of 30 kilos, or 66 pounds, of cocaine, the approximate street value of $3 million. The investigation is ongoing with the coordination of DEA.
Stood out. When I followed him off the interstate, I jumped off. He kind of played cat and mouse with me where he tried to get away from me. He actually had pulled up behind another truck that was disabled at Love's, had some cones behind it. This guy was in a work truck. So in my mind, I was thinking, is he trying to stay away from me, or is he coming here to work on this truck? He was out of Texas, out of the border area. So I kind of hid in the parking lot for a minute, and lo and behold, he ran inside. He came back out, got in his truck, and left. So my mind immediately was thinking he's trying to avoid having a contact with me. So as soon as he comes around through the parking lot, he sees me again and immediately backs in a parking space. So at that point, I just pulled up next to him, parallel to him, and engaged him in conversation as he exited his truck. And his story became less believable as we conversed, which led to him be asking for consent to search his vehicle, which he kindly consented. So I asked for consent, and then I asked him again specifically for consent to search those buckets that were in the back, which he consented to. I immediately pulled there was a little screw-off cap on the lid of the 5-gallon bucket of the one of them, and I could immediately see vacuum seal packages down inside there. So I immediately cuffed him up, advised him he was under arrest. I pulled all 4 buckets out, opened them up, and they were all full of cocaine, to prove that it had a nexus to drug crime.
In his 16 years as a deputy with the Morgan County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Suttles has been involved with 62 interdiction seizures, 3 in 2025 alone. Cash, $1,252,367, $1 million in bars of gold. Cannabis, 4,465.5 pounds. Cannabis vapes, 50,160. Cocaine, 166 pounds. Meth, 42 pounds. Heroin, 15.4 pounds. Xanax, 4.5 pounds. Illegal cartons of cigarettes, 1,767. That's unbelievable.
But, there's nothing more satisfying to me as I get older with children than taking, in this, what I've been nominated on for this award, 166 pounds of cocaine off between 2 stops, and then the other 2 money stops I had this year, $600,000 between the 2, taking that money out of the pockets of cartels and criminal organizations throughout the United States. That, the war on drugs is not a game, not a war that we're going to win, but we continue to fight. And for me, if stopping one truck with 30 kilos of cocaine, that may be the first, and that 30 kilos may have been the first time somebody would have used cocaine, maybe a mom or a dad or a son or a brother. And we'll never know the results of what that might have stopped, but maybe it saved somebody's life. Maybe somebody doesn't get shot over one of those kilos in Chicago in a robbery. We don't know, and we'll never know, but it's satisfying to me to know that I can make some of the difference in the small jurisdiction that I work in, that may help somebody here or in Chicago or Cleveland, Ohio, or Buffalo, New York. So,
why do you feel it's a calling and important for young people to go into this profession, especially serving right in their own county?
Being from here, being raised here, family still here. I'm from southern Morgan County, Murrayville, Illinois area. I'm the part-time chief of police there at Murrayville-Woodson on my days off from the county. My phone rings nonstop, and to me, it gives me great satisfaction to know that maybe in your worst time, maybe somebody I've known since I was a little kid, that I can help you and give you some sort of relief in something that's really bothering you, whether it be, how many times in 20 years, 16 years here have I gone to somebody I know who lost a loved one, maybe whether it be to suicide or natural death, and the first person they see is me, and I've known him forever, and I feel like I can make a difference to that person. So it's very satisfying being in a community that I've grown up in, a community that I love, that people can reach out to me and I can try to make a difference for them the best I can.
Deputy Suttles' 20 years in law enforcement, professionalism, dedication to the citizens of Morgan County and the state of Illinois made him the clear choice by the ISA as our 2025 Deputy of the Year.